At my niece's 6th birthday celebration, I noticed a charge of $3,842 on my card. My sister said, "We decided. You're paying for it." My parents supported her. That night, I canceled my mom's card, stopped all payments, and disputed the charges with the bank. A year later, they returned, demanding money. Hey, Reddit. Family is meant to be a place of safety, comfort, and warmth. But sometimes it feels like a trap you don't recognize until they stop pretending. My niece Lily had just turned 6. The backyard was filled with pink balloons, princess decorations, and overly pricey party favors that I later discovered I had unknowingly funded. My sister Megan greeted me with a forced smile and a wine glass that was already half empty. Finally, she said, "We thought you weren't coming." I handed Lily her present and watched her dash off happily, my heart feeling warm. For a brief moment, it felt like a regular family gathering. Then my phone buzzed and everything changed. I glanced at my screen. New charge, $3,842 from a party place and catering. My stomach sank. I scrolled through 14 charges, all made in the past 36 hours, from various party suppliers. Heat flushed my face. This wasn't a mistake. Someone had used my card to pay for the whole birthday party. I turned slowly toward Megan. "Did you use my card?" She was unfazed. Instead, she raised her wine glass, smirked, and said, "Oh yeah, we decided. You're paying for it." As if it were a family decision I had been part of. "What do you mean we decided? Who allowed you to use my card?" Megan shrugged. "Mom and Dad agreed. You make the most money. It's not a big deal. Lily deserves a nice party." I felt rage cloud my vision. "You took nearly $4,000 from me." Megan rolled her eyes. "It's not stealing. It's just being family." Mom stepped in, arms crossed. "Stop making a scene." Dad followed her. "Your sister works hard. She can't afford a big party. You can." I was stunned. "So, you all just decided that I would pay for everything without even asking me?" Mom shrugged. "Well, yes, like that's completely normal." Dad chimed in. "You should be thankful. It's for your niece. Don't be selfish." Selfish. That word hit me hard. "I'm selfish," I whispered, "because I don't want you treating me like an ATM." Megan scoffed. "Oh, come on. You've always had money. You don't even need it." My hands shook. "This isn't about need. It's about respect." Megan's tone turned icy. "Well, you're paying for it. We voted." I took a breath, and something inside me snapped, quietly, coldly, like a door closing for good. Once I got home, I opened my laptop. Mom had a supplementary card on my account for emergencies. I clicked to remove her. Then I accessed my banking app. Canceled autopay for Mom and Dad's electric bill, Dad's medication plan, their internet service, their phone plan, the groceries I had delivered to them, their $1,200 property tax support, Megan's children's school fund. I never received thanks for any of it. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Then I disputed every charge made for the birthday party. When the dispute form asked if I authorized those transactions, I wrote, "My family used my card without permission. I want a full refund." The bank froze the charges immediately, but I wasn't done. I created a group chat with Mom, Dad, and Megan. I typed, "Do not ever use my card again. All financial support is terminated effective immediately. Do not contact me unless it's a true emergency." Then I muted the chat. I didn't block them, not yet. I wanted them to see what life looked like when the family ATM finally shut down. At 6 a.m. the next day, my phone buzzed endlessly. "Mom, the grocery delivery didn't arrive." "What happened?" "Dad, my medication card got declined." "Fix it." "Megan, the caterer is calling. The payment failed. Fix this now." Then, "Mom, what did you do?" "Dad, you can't just cut us off." "Megan, you're ruining Lily's birthday weekend." I didn't reply because this wasn't my responsibility anymore. They made that clear. By noon, the messages shifted from anger to panic to insults to guilt-tripping. "Mom, we're your parents. You can't abandon us." Dad, you owe us. We raised you. Megan, you're heartless. Funny how people call you heartless when you stop letting them take advantage of you. I muted them again, made tea, and felt lighter. For a year, I didn't hear from them except for the occasional passive-aggressive holiday text. They struggled. They had to work and learn the budgeting skills I had been providing. They were angry at first, then ashamed, then quiet. Meanwhile, I thrived. I saved money, traveled, paid off my debts, started therapy, found peace in solitude, and discovered joy in freedom. I thought the story was over, that they had learned their lesson, that a year later they might apologize. But instead, they returned demanding something so outrageous that I laughed out loud. A year later, my family didn't come seeking forgiveness. They came asking for something much larger than $3,842. And what I told them changed everything forever. A year without them felt like removing a heavy vest I hadn't realized I was wearing since childhood. For the first time, my money was mine, my peace was mine, my home was mine. No unexpected calls, no midnight emergencies, no silent expectations for me to save everyone but myself. So when that knock came, I opened the door slowly, heavy and deliberate. I already knew it wasn't good. There they were, my mom, my dad, and my sister Megan, standing side by side like a delegation sent to reclaim lost territory. No, how have you been? No apology. Just 3 faces full of expectation. Dad cleared his throat as if preparing to give a speech. We're here because your mother and I are behind on our mortgage. His tone was expectant, not worried. Mom added, 6 months behind. The bank is threatening foreclosure. Megan sighed dramatically. We decided. You need to step up again. That word, that dreaded word, decided. As if my bank account was a community pool they could access whenever they wished. I crossed my arms. So, you came here a year after stealing from me to ask for thousands of dollars? Megan rolled her eyes. It's not asking. It's family responsibility. Dad nodded. You're single, no kids. Good job. Who else is supposed to help us? There it was, not love, not remorse, not growth. Just expectation. The belief that I existed to make their lives easier. I looked at each of them one by one. You want to know the truth? The real truth. They stared nervously. I didn't walk away because of the $3,842 charge. I left because that was the first time I clearly saw how little you valued me. Mom frowned. What are you talking about? I stepped closer. For years, I paid your bills, your groceries, your internet, your medical plans. I gave Megan thousands for her kids. I bailed her out of overdrafts. I supported you every time you needed it. I pointed at Megan. And you repaid me by stealing from me and saying you voted. Megan's face turned red. It was a misunderstanding. No, I stated firmly. It was a wake-up call. I continued. When I stopped paying, you didn't reach out to apologize. You didn't ask if I was okay. You didn't even acknowledge my birthday this year. You only return now because you're in trouble. Their silence spoke volumes. Dad stepped forward. We're your parents, he insisted. It's your duty. No, I replied quietly. My duty is to myself now. Mom's eyes filled with tears. You're really going to let us lose our home? I swallowed hard. Guilt tugged at me for a moment. But then I remembered all the times they watched me struggle and called it growing up. I'm not responsible for the mess you created, I said softly. And I'm done cleaning up situations I didn't cause. Megan scoffed. You're unbelievable. Maybe, I said. But I'm finally free. I opened the door wider, signaling that the conversation was over. Mom whispered, please think about it. For the first time in my life, I replied, honestly, I did think about it for an entire year. And I realized something. I was never part of this family. I was just your financial plan. Dad stiffened. Megan's lip quivered. Mom quietly sobbed, but I stood firm. You tried to cut me off last year. I'm just returning the favor. They remained there, absorbing the truth. 3 people who had built their lives on the assumption that I would always say yes. But here I was, alive, Stable, happy, unafraid. I stepped back. Good luck. Truly. But my life doesn't revolve around your choices anymore. With a steady breath, I closed the door slowly. Not angrily, not dramatically, just finally. A closing that had been years in the making. The next morning, I woke up feeling lighter. No guilt. No fear of phone calls demanding money. Just peace. Just fresh air. Just freedom. I made coffee, opened the windows, and sat on the balcony. I realized something profound. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by how they treat you when you stop being useful to them. They taught me what love isn't. And in the space they left behind, I finally had room to discover what love is. Peace, boundaries, self-respect, my own voice. And I promised myself I would never sacrifice that again. The moment you stop funding other people's comfort is the moment you truly start funding your own peace.